Thank you, thank you. How's everybody doing? Welcome back from lunch. Sorry, we were running a little behind. Sorry about that. We were being able to sit and talk with one another, and so we got caught up in our conversation, but welcome back. Let me see. Oh,
I see a beautiful baby there participating.
yes. Bug is here. We can start the party. So for this breakout, and I know we haven't had a breakout for our Block Grant providers in, forever. And so I am so happy that we're able to connect here and have some conversation. I think a big thing for us is we have a couple specific questions we want to ask all of you, have some exchange, some information. But of course, I would love for us if we can do some introductions. So I know there may be folks here, you know each other, but I think it'll be nice if we do introductions. So if we can, I can call on people based on so that we're not getting confused who went and who didn't. So I'll call on people, and I will start with Miss Tanya. Miss Tanya Henderson.
Sorry, my mouse wasn't clicking the mute. Hi, everybody. Good to see everyone. Tanya Henderson with Coop Consulting.
Thank you, Tanya. Miss Rodriguez.
I think it's me because I believe it's only one Rodriguez.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here today. Mr. Joseph made me a movie star this morning, I guess.
Yes.
But I'm Angelica Rodriguez. I work for Luna County, which is Deming and Columbus. I don't live in Deming, I live in Las Cruces. But just that's where for who I work. And so I'm sorry. I'm a program specialist with Center for Health Innovation. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Josephine.
Hi, everyone. My name is Josephine Viana. I'm the new program specialist here in Sierra County for Center of Health Innovations.
Awesome. Thank you. Valerie, you are up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Valerie Kling, and I am the program specialist for Grant County at the Center for Health Innovation. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Valerie. Pamela, I have you up, but I know if you want to say hi, but.
Just good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming back. And you met little Miss Bug. That's my granddaughter, Anna Lee.
She made her special appearance, so we are so grateful. Jennifer Gould.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jennifer Gould, FR Care Program Manager.
Miss Christina. How's it
Hello,
going?
everybody. Hi, Tone. Christina Lopez Gutierrez. I am the local evaluator for the CHI programs and work a little bit with PIRE with the NMCS process as well.
Thank you, thank you. Miss Natalie Skokobo.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natalie Skogerbo with Aspen Solutions, and I'm a local evaluator with Torrance, Eddy, and Socorro counties. It's nice to see everyone.
Thank you, Natalie. Adrian.
Hello, everyone. Adrian Ortiz out of Torrance County.
Thank you, Adrian. Noah.
Everybody, it's Noah Salvatore. I work with San Juan County Partnership and Kamama Consulting, and I do some evaluation.
Excellent. Thank you, Noah. Miss Ann Del Vecchio.
Hey, Tone. I'm Ann Del Vecchio. I work with Mescalero. And I don't know if they didn't know not to come back, or two of them are up here right now. So I don't know.
Oh, man. Text them. Send them a text message. Tell them to hop on. Tell them quit shopping and get back on the meeting. Tell them I said.
I don't think they're shopping yet, but I'll let them know.
All right. Thanks, Ann. Jennifer. Our Coop Jennifer.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Jennifer Espinoza Ruiz with Coop Consulting, and I'm providing technical support today.
Awesome. Call Jennifer up if you have any issues, any technical issues. I should be very specific. Miss Joby, you want to give a good afternoon?
Hi, good afternoon. Joby Drafts. I am the new SOR manager. Look forward to working with everyone.
Nice. Thank you, Joby. Erin.
Hi, everyone. My name is Erin Small. I'm with Center for Health Innovation. I'm a program specialist for Doña Ana County, the UP Coalition, Unified Prevention Coalition. Glad to be.
Thank you, Erin. Carla.
Hello, everybody. I am the new SINAR coordinator and SAPT program manager.
Excellent. Thank you, Carla. Jessica.
Good afternoon. My name is Jessica Garcia. I'm one of the other program specialists for the UP Coalition down here in Doña Ana County.
Excellent. Thank you, Jessica. Candice.
Hello, everybody. I'm Candice Sabasta. I work with Rocky Mountain Youth Corps Prevention Program, Taos, New Mexico. Thank you.
Thank you, Candice. Joanna.
Hi, everyone. Joanna Wells with the Carlsbad Community Anti-Drug and Gang Coalition here in Eddy County.
Excellent. Thank you, Joanna. Miss Andrea.
Hi, everyone. Andrea Niehaus, Prevention Products Manager with Coop Consulting. I'm going to take notes for you all today, but I also want to note we're recording the session too in case anyone wants to come back and watch sections of it or has team members who are in attendance.
Thank you so much for that. Anna.
Hi, everyone. I'm still eating lunch, so I have my camera off and on. I just, oh my gosh, fast and furious in that hour, and it was not enough. Anyway, I am the executive director of San Juan County Partnership up in Farmington.
Thank you, Anna. I know I'm lucky I didn't fall for the 30 minutes for lunch. I was pushing for 1 hour, but I felt the same thing. I'm like, that's not long enough. Maria Elena.
Hi there, and I'm right in the middle of
eating too.
Yes, sorry.
Oh,
in my mouth at the same time. Hi, everyone.
Sorry.
No problem, Tone. I'm Maria Elena Reyes, and I'm with the Peer Evaluation Team.
Thank you. Liz.
Hi, everyone. Liz Lily Gonzalez. I'm part of the Peer Evaluation Team on the state SAPT, and I'm also local evaluator for Rocky Mountain Youth Corps.
Thank you, Liz. Marisa. Welcome back.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Tone. Hi, everyone. Marisa Elias with the Peer Evaluation Team. Good to see you all again.
Thank you for coming back. Paula.
Good afternoon again, everyone. Paula Feathers with Kamama Consulting.
Awesome. Welcome back, Paula. Thank you for joining us. I have Allison.
Hi, I'm Allison Cullum. I'm an evaluator with SBS Consulting.
Oh, excellent. Wonderful. Welcome, Allison. Joseph, are you in the house?
This Joseph?
Yes, you, Joseph.
Okay. Happy Tuesday, everyone.
I'm Joseph Hill. I'm with Center for Health Innovation and very glad to be with you all.
Thank you very much. And next up, I have Esther. No, Esther? Okay. Dave. Hi, Dave.
Hi again. Yeah, Dave Curry with Pyre.
Awesome. And Michelle?
Hello, everyone. Michelle Roque, substance misuse preventionist with Rocky Mountain Youth Corps in Taos.
Yay. Thank you, Michelle. Ada? I don't know if I said your name right.
Good morning. My name is Aida. I work with
Aida.
SBS Consulting. I'm an evaluator for SBS Consulting.
Sorry, I knew I was going to mess up your name. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Miss Cindy.
Hi, everyone. Cindy Sockerman with SBS Consulting. Currently evaluator for Naka, Kiwa, and soon McKinney County.
Wonderful. Thank you, Cindy, for being here. And I believe next up I have Amanda Evans.
Hello, I'm Amanda Evans. I'm a preventionist for San Juan County Partnership.
Thank you, Amanda. And Tyson.
Good afternoon, everybody. Tyson Carice, Prevention Manager for Kiwa Pueblo.
Awesome. Thank you. I believe we have one other person, Hannah.
Hi, Hannah Ornelas with the Carlsbad Coalition.
Excellent. Thank you, Hannah. So I believe, if I missed anyone, please shout out, give us an introduction. And if not, we will continue to keep this ball rolling. And so, like I mentioned, this is our first time doing our block grant providers specific breakout. And so we have a couple questions we want to start off with. And we're really hoping to just initiate some dialogue between all of us. And so we are going to ask a couple of different questions and we would like to hear from all of you. And so we have, are we, Pamela, I think I'm gonna have list all three questions in the chat and then we can have them respond to each. Does that sound?
Sure.
Sound good?
We can do one at a time.
Okay.
So the first one, and then we can kind of see which one solicits information. So as Tony and I were kind of talking about, we really wanted to take this opportunity to hear from you guys. And one of the things that we realized is that you report back to us, we report to SAMHSA, but we wanted to know what are creative ways any of the programs have you report back to your community your successes, because they're the most important that we report back to. So you guys can volunteer, or Tone will call you guys out. So if anybody wants to share any creative ways that they're giving information back to the community.
This is Adrian. So out of Torrance, I don't know how creative it is, but we do go to the commission meeting and we'll, let the commissioners know kind of what's going on in our area, especially when we get the results from NMCS or the strategic success. We'll go to the schools and talk to them and our health council, and that's about it.
Nice. I have a follow-up question for you, Adrian. Do you provide or create maybe like a one-pager? Do you provide it as a presentation? Like, what do you think has caught the eye of your community the most?
I mean, it just depends on what we're presenting. You know, if it's the NMCS findings, we'll kind of highlight certain findings that we have and present that and give them either copies of the findings or we have created one pagers before as well. So just depends.
Adrian, tell them about
Yes.
what you attached to the cannabis safe storage stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so with our new cannabis strategy, we worked with the dispensaries and we're giving away lock bags. Well, with the lock bags, we also attach just a little form. I think I have one here. Hold on. So we attach this. I don't know if you can see this. It's just kind of like a little card that says lock it up. And then on the back has some data from this. Which one was this one from, Natalie?
The poison
control.
Yeah,
poison control data. And then we give them our little lock bags so that they can secure their weed. And then made that little sign there, ironed that on. We've actually had a lot of success with our dispensaries. So one of them is actually partnering with us and they're going to put stickers on all of their edibles. And they're also going to put stickers on their bags that say, protect your kids, lock it up. These are really tiny, but they're going to be like that. And they allowed us to put their logo as well as our logo on it. So we're excited about that.
Congratulations. That's amazing. That's so great to hear about. That's awesome. It's exciting. I love it. I love it. And I see some messages in the chat. Joanna mentions media messages, meetings, annual banquet, billboard. Michelle from Taos mentions media campaigns, meetings, newsletters, community events at the schools. Valerie has social media, print media, health council, public meetings, coalition meetings. There's a question for Adrian about where are you getting your lock bags? Yes, this is very cool. That was excellent. I was like, I'm so glad Natalie nudged him. Because I'm like, tell me more. Tell us more.
we purchased our lock bags from Any Promo. They're about $10 a piece. And so they're not cheap. So we can't buy a ton, but we are giving out as many as we can. The lock bags, you can customize the lock on them. If you get them without printing, they're $10. And then with printing, I think they're like 11 or $12. But we just got our own Cricut. And we make our own printing. So we just print our own stuff.
Yay. Good job. That's cool. That's very cool. Does anyone from the chat want to share about any specific, anybody want to share? Like share your media, your favorite media campaigns or your social media links, you know, please feel free. Oh, nice. Thank you, Valerie.
Tone?
Yes.
Oh, so it's Pius.
Pius.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So the way we've kind of disseminated information back to the community, recently we got our popcorn maker. So what we do is we fill popcorn bags and we attach little informational stickers onto the little popcorn bags, and we go out to all the tribal departments here in the community. And so we hand out popcorn bags with Gatorade and, you know, just get the message out that way. We also, within our open house, we have little bags that we attach or that we put in our doTERRA drug deactivation system in as well. And so in that we do a resources list along with that, how to dispose of it. We also recently went to the elderly center here on our reservation, and I don't think we have one, but we did a little Valentine activity with the elders to make a little heart pillow. And so we sat with them and we disseminated some information there with them as well, just to make sure we get them. But we also asked them to share anything they felt was important for us to share with the community in any of our traditional classes. So, and then also every quarter, we're trying to meet with the council to get the leadership up to date with all the stuff we do as well. So.
Yay, that's great, Pius. That's so wonderful to hear from Muscalero. It sounds like there's so many cultural innovations you're doing there in your community, which is fun. I love when you can engage with the elders, and I love anything with food. So I'm a little biased. I think that's how we get people.
Yes, food is always good.
Yeah. All right. Oh, these are great. So everyone, please check out the chat. There's some wonderful flyers and posters, some links, and the lock it up sticker. That's awesome. I like it a lot. So wonderful. All right. So I continue to think of more items, and please feel free to share them. Let's see, are we ready for the next question? Let me see. Okay, we're making good time. We're making good time. I want to look through my list. I want to see. Let me see. Do we have anyone from McKinley in the house? No. No? Okay. All righty. Let me see. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the next question. Let's see. Ooh, there's a cabinet lock flyer in the chat from Joanna.
So we have several strategies, Tone, that deal with like alcohol and marijuana and stuff like that. And so we started out by, okay, you know how this started with the prescription drugs.
Yes.
And lock boxes. And I'm like, nobody's using these things because they're not using them. So what we did was try to be innovative. How could it be easy for them to use for prescription drugs? So we found a digital lock that you can put on the cabinet. And it takes like 2 minutes to install, very easy. You can buy it off Amazon. And so we advertise that for locking up your prescriptions. Well, then we're like, well, why can't that be for alcohol too? So then we attached it to our alcohol strategy. Then we're like, what about we use it for our marijuana too? And so we do it for our marijuana strategy as well to lock up all these things from your youth. And so, like Adrian, we have partnered with the dispensaries. I think we have 14, 15, and they are all on board, and they just call our coalition because we have other funds through SPIF, and they can get a free lockbox from us, or not lockbox, but a cabinet lock, and we'll provide those. And people have been calling to get their free cabinet locks. So it's very successful.
Yay, that's excellent. I love the innovation. You're like, it's real simple to put in. I mean, I think anything that is easily can be explained, simple, put in without a hassle. People have this tool laying around. They can, anybody can use it. I love that idea. Simplicity is so helpful. I like it. All righty. Let me see, anyone else? Anyone want to share?
So I included some examples of how we relay back the New Mexico community survey results with the community. And as you may be aware of, it can get a little bit tricky with accurately providing the information to the community and in a way that maybe it could relay a little bit of a more positive spin on things, like a message, or if things aren't going very well, or we get like a result that's not, you know, very good, how we educate the community about those findings. So this year, I think that we were really conscientious in Grant County about, you know, we were really active in getting people to try and take the survey, and then our communications specialist was really just help push and was adamant about sharing that information back with the community, because we did get a better sample than we did the year before. So yeah, I worked with her with on creating some media that could pertain to relaying back the NMCS survey back to Grant County specifically.
I like it. And those are really, you know, you have a really high percentage that reported they did not give out or share their prescription meds. So that is an excellent example. I like that one. Anything in that range it stands out, right? It's like, good job, everybody. And you gave them those recognition and acknowledgement. That needs to go everywhere. That needs to go everywhere. That's super exciting news. I mean, that's where you want to be, right? That's where we all want to be.
Yeah, from the respondents that we got, it was a good result, and it was worth really congratulating the community on that. So yeah, thanks for that. It was great to know.
Yes, that's great.
Yeah, I was really impressed with those. Just congratulations. It's infidelity with the strategy. You're giving a positive message. And I had never thought about doing that with the perception of risk piece about, you know, congratulating law enforcement. So thanks for sharing that idea. And I think people are going to steal it. So.
Yeah, the law enforcement one was a little bit tricky because it was like, okay, it's 43%. It's like right in the mid. It's kind of like right in the middle. But any efforts or sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, the 40% one. Any message that we can, those law enforcement really publicizing, it's a struggle. You know, it takes some creative thinking. So I'm like, how can I at least create a couple of media messages trying to congratulate those efforts? So, and then it helps us sort of build a good relationship with law enforcement at the same time. So yeah.
That's great.
I was actually thinking that was high for some of the communities.
It probably is. All right. So I'll go on to the next. We can go on to the next question. Pamela, should I do the?
You can do the next one, or I can. I'll read it. Tony and I struggled with what words. Kept saying the same thing, but so with the implementation of fewer strategies, how are programs or projects feeling or seeing that this impacts community? Is that the question, Tone?
Say it one more time, sorry.
So with the implementation of fewer strategies.
Oh, yes.
How does this impact the community?
If you, so say for instance, for this year, for fiscal year 2023, if you chose to implement fewer strategies, how has that impacted the work effectiveness or implementation or rollout of the work in the community? Yes, Tanya, thank you. So the question is in the chat. So Joanna, thank you for that. Because Joanna had put in the chat, she's able to focus and enhance on a strategy and not feel like she's spread too thin across multiple strategies, and they're doing a direct service now, which I think is a huge change for many of you, that this time around, you have the option to do a direct service, which I'm hearing, just hearing you guys talk about a lot of the good things is so exciting. It's awesome.
Tony, I don't think some of the programs have been able to gauge that yet, because with some of the strategies, since the partners, we had to reinitiate, a relationship straight across the board, still with the, coming out of, we're here as a coalition, as a program. Like, I don't think it still feels like less strategies, even though some programs might have, might have selected or deselected a strategy, in the last fiscal year. I think that's still too early, because you're just starting all over in many different situations, not only because the staff has changed with the prevention program possibly, but because your partners changed as well. It's just a workforce issue straight across the state, across partnerships. So yeah, from my perspective, from just my angle in the program, I think the jury's still out. That one.
And I think my follow-up question to that is really just to identify if, I want to hear from all of you whether it's been a plus for you to focus on fewer strategies, so that we can take that into consideration for FY24 plans. And I'll tell you, I'm really wanting to hear from you to gauge the atmosphere as we're going into planning for FY24. And, if you feel like it's benefited you so far, give me a thumbs up, give me some feedback that, you're ready, you're not ready for it to go back up to 7 or 8 strategies, or, and even if you are doing 7 or 8 strategies, and your implementation hasn't, been too largely impacted, that's a blessing for you, and we want to hear about that too. But I just want to know if it's working for you. That's what I want to hear. If you feel like, yeah, we're not clear yet of the impact it's having in your community yet, I understand. So just throwing this question out there for all of you.
I just want to say that something that I love that OSAP did this year, and I feel like it's not being really talked about, because, we've been with OSAP since 2010. And we've been doing the same strategies for so long without following the trends or the emerging drug trends or the needs, or and I think this year having the ability and the flexibility to work with what our community needs, not just what's pushed by like a state initiative, has been so rewarding and so uplifting to our staff, because it's like not mundane. We can keep going, we can keep moving and building on our strategies that we have, and tackling what's current. And so, like the marijuana thing, so we're really thankful to OSAP for opening that up and also allowing us to do that direct service, because we were focused straight on environmental strategies, and to have a direct service has been really nice to reach all those youth. So, but yes, I like less strategies.
Thank you, Joanne. I appreciate your words. I appreciate your feedback. Thank you. Candace, you have your hand raised. We are listening.
Yes, hi. So I am new to prevention as of September of last year, and just as a outside perspective, and semi new to the field, I would just say with coming into the field, doing the initial trainings and getting my grounding as far as even the prevention specialist training that I just now finished last week. It was super helpful, and I'm barely getting more grounded as of right now. So that took September, October, November, December, January, February. So 7 months to kind of get my grounding in that so that I can actually do some higher quality work with my peer, with Michelle, who's been in it way longer. She has a lot more experience than I have. So I think just giving that flexibility, first of all, coming into it, it's a lot to grasp. It is. And then I really like that you guys are giving the option to kind of be a little more fluid as far as the strategies go, because now that I'm understanding it more, we can change with our community, which is where our strategies need to be for sure, so that we can serve our community at the best capacity possible. Yeah, just wanted to give my opinion on that. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Candace. I appreciate your, your thoughts around, having the time to let you get acclimated to your position. And that's something I'm working on as a supervisor with my staff, is making sure that we're spending that time to allow folks to get familiar and learn the theories and learn the different components, so that they can better understand prevention and be ready to implement. And I want to have staff that is ready to assist you when you have questions as well. And so I definitely had to really make sure that we're offering that flexibility back to our providers to give you guys time to onboard and learn your positions and figure out, what is the strategic plan that was passed down to me, right? Or that was given to me. And it's just like, I wasn't involved. And then when you start to learn it and start to figure it out, and even as you start to see your community fluctuate and see, is this still the main concern, or is this still the issue, and what do we have to work on? So thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Let's see, Valerie. Was Valerie? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I really want to echo what Candace said about the time that it takes to learn everything included with your strategies. I love that communication between you two, and I really appreciate the support that OSAP has given, because yeah, it takes a while. And with that being said, there's a few strategies that take more effort and more time, more capacity building than others. So for example, like the A1D strategy, the school strategy, that is a long-term strategy that takes a lot of work, takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of knowing your community. So I think really the less strategies, especially with the new onboarding of people, and some departments have a lot of like turnover. I think that lessening that is really supportive, because if I have 4 strategies that are just really tough strategies that I need to do a lot of capacity building with, etc., that's significant. Right now in Grant County, we have with our OSAP contract, we have 6, or with Grant County, we have 6 strategies. And it's been tough, especially because a couple of those, I would say about 3 of them really take, that long-term capacity building. Also, I would suggest, and this is just coming off the top of my head, that the capacity building aspect of it is just long-term. It's always going. So I would love to have a capacity building strategy just like throughout time, because I'm always working on that. There's always things that we as a team can provide in the capacity building aspect. But I'm glad that you have different categories of that, because really it changes over time based on where you are. So yeah, I would say, like, for me personally, I've been in this field for just 2 years, and I'm barely starting to really get the hang of what I'm doing and have an idea of how I approach my community in a productive way. Having a few strategies that I can work on and do really well is better than having a bunch of strategies that I do just a little bit of work on and I can maybe meet the bare minimum. So that would be my input in terms of the strategies.
Thank you so much, Valerie. And I definitely want to, you brought up a really good point about the capacity strategies. And if you can, do a reaction on your Zoom and let me know Give me a thumbs up if you feel like having a separate strategy that's focused on capacity, if that's beneficial, or if you feel like it's just something that's, you know, is that beneficial to have a separate strategy solely focused on capacity? Okay. Okay. All right. Because that's one thing that I know I wanted to look at is if, you know, having that capacity strategy identified, if that's going to be helpful or not. And it sounds like it's going to be helpful to have that specific strategy. And you're definitely right. Some strategies do take longer. And I do want to say prevention is a long-term process. You know, it takes years for you to see results. And so thank you for, taking the journey, the long journey to do this kind of work. It's really, I'm hoping you will all see it pay off in your lifetime. So thank you so much. And thank you, Valerie, for your words. And let me see who is next. I believe Ms. Tanya.
Hi, Tone. Not to sidetrack your conversation here, but I want to appreciate you hosting this webinar because when I was under PSF 15, we didn't have this opportunity. So I really appreciate this. And for those who don't know, I used to be a coordinator here in Curry County and I was under a different grant. And so it was very similar to the SAPT grant. And so I want to just echo again what Candace and Valerie had said, because those were my thoughts that I was going to bring up. So what I'm seeing on the technical assistant side is there's a lot of staff turnover, which we always see every year. And it's mostly because sometimes those people, they come in, they feel overwhelmed by the number of strategies because they feel like they have to work on all of it continuously, like once a day, and eventually they kind of get burnt out and say like, this isn't a job for me. So I believe in very much of decreasing strategies to better fit the capacity level to some of these programs, especially when they don't have a very good strong internal support from their organization, or they don't have a very good coalition members not being involved with the type of work. They're facing really hard not buy-in from the local community. So that just adds more barriers to some of these coordinators here. And so that's why we kind of see that staff turnover. And then another thing too, I was a coordinator before. And so when I was working on 7 strategies, it was really hard for me. And all those barriers they listed were barriers that I faced. And so what I'm trying to get at is that the capacity building strategy, when dealing with coalitions, I know that I came in where we were working on, I think 6 strategies and then 1 coalition building. And then we had to replace that coalition building strategy with another strategy. So it went to 7 full ones. I still felt like I was working on 8 strategies. That coalition capacity building that I was working on was like hidden extra work that I couldn't bill my time for because I came in as a new coordinator of already established work, that it didn't feel right that I couldn't bill my personal time in order to make these strategies work and implement them better. And so that's all I had to say. So I'm sure other coordinators might feel the same way. I'm not too sure, but I just want to throw it out there that those are some of the trends that I kind of see, from my side and then from also the technical assistance side.
Thank you so much, Tanya. I appreciate your perspective from being a program coordinator yourself into being the technical assistance provider. It's really beneficial to have you on our team as having that viewpoint, and it's you are bringing up very valid points, and that is something that I want to definitely take into account, that I hear you and I want things to be different going forward, and making sure that we're not keeping the level of strategies just to keep them, and that we're really looking at how our communities and you I want to keep you guys, I want to keep you guys in your communities doing the great work you're doing, and if I can do that, I want to be able to do that. And so that's my goal. Let me see who's up next. All right. Oh yeah, Adrian.
Yeah, so I agree with everybody that lowering the strategies is great. The thing I will say though is by adding a direct service, you should even have lower strategies because with the direct service, I mean, prior to we had 6 strategies, now we have 5 with the direct service, and it's still, I mean, we're managing, but it's still a stretch. So, I mean, if you're able to drop them down to maybe even subtracting 1 more, that would be fantastic. But with doing what we're doing now, when you add a direct service, it takes up a lot more of your time for building capacity as well as implementing the trainings or getting the training for the direct service and then implementing the direct service. It just takes a lot of work. And then kind of like Joseph was talking about earlier, we're going to the smaller schools. You start out and you want to just do, hey, let me work with the 7th graders. And they're like, we want all the middle school. Oh, and can you do the high school as well? And you're like, oh, you don't want to say no, right? You just want to make it happen. So then you have to navigate and try to figure out how are we going to make this happen? So that's just our 2 cents here.
Thank you so much, Adrian. I appreciate what you're saying because that is a very true statement. Direct service strategies are very time consuming. It takes a lot more time, maybe even, a lot of planning, implementation time. It is very heavy. So could you tell us what direct service you are implementing?
We're doing the This Is Quitting. So it's through the Truth Initiative. And then, so the class is through Everfi, Know the Truth.
All right. And what grade are you working with?
7 through 12.
7 through 12.
Yeah, so far, right now we're only working with one school, and another school uses it kind of on an as-need basis. But I think after we finish this one school, then we're going to start getting more requests for the other schools, and we have 4 schools in our district. So,
wow.
And what we did, Adrian, with that, because that's how we started with the STOP program. We did all stars with 6th graders, and then they're like, oh, we would like for all this, group to do it, or go out to Loving and do it there. And so we found another grant SPIF, and we were able to expand. And then OSAP allowed us to do direct service, so now we could fill in even more. And so now they all get all stars. 7th grade doesn't, but all of our 6th and all of our 8th graders do in Carlsbad and Loving. Loving doesn't do 6th grade right now, but we're glad that we were able to expand it to a village that didn't have any services, but it's because we had that support for all of them to work together.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Adrian, for that feedback. Thank you so much. I'm going to keep your hands raised. Tyson.
Yes. So, so one of the things I think that has helped is the fact that it's quality versus quantity, meaning, a lot of this stuff is really, impactful now, because we get to choose, our coalition gets to choose the strategies. And also, I think it gives more power to the community on how we're going to implement those strategies. It's really also another thing that it fits the community's needs versus, something that's just given to us, which was, sometime in the past the case. But now I think we have more ownership in how we provide the service. And I think that's really important. And also, for leadership, it's very important for them to really grasp the information. So with that said, I want to give a shout out, first of all, to Cindy and Allison has done such a tremendous job, and as far as OSAP goes, those are the things that I think really the support system also that we have with OSAP is very, very key. And once again, here at the community level, such as mine, we only have a short time, sometimes with our own leadership, governor, so super busy. So we only have 5 to 10 minutes of his ear most of the time. So, working closely with these strategies that they can understand. But also one of the other things is that the duplication of services decreases. Because sometimes we are in competitive services with our corporation here at the local level. So some of the things that some of our strategies are in duplication of services. So how can we holistically balance those is another key thing that we are always looking to. And so I really appreciate that part, which is, like I said before, it's quality over quantity. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Tyson. I appreciate that perspective. And I would say too that, really trying to complement additional services that are happening in your community. If it's a small community, can be challenging. I definitely ran into that as a provider, and you are pointing out, those critical pieces that, how we will have more options if there's more flexibility offered. And I really appreciate, thinking about the quality of the work is again really important to me, because it's if it's meaningful to you, the community, the people, they'll feel that as well. And I think that we're all here because we believe in prevention, and we're doing this for a reason. And so again, like I said, and that's why I want to keep all of you. I want to keep all of you working here, working with us, working with me. So definitely. So thank you so much, Tyson. Miss, Miss Rodriguez. Angelica.
Or Angelica, like Angel.
I know I was going to call you Angelica, but I heard the way you were pronouncing it, and I was trying to say it. I couldn't say it right. Someone has to work with me on my Spanish. Okay, someone has to work with me.
I can work with you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, so I just want to say that Tanya read my mind. Everything she said is what is happening in my situation. And I believe another issue, is the money. And I was thinking if we can have 4 strategies, we could probably put like a 20K strategy, because really, everything is going up with inflation. But I also have to travel. So I live in Las Cruces, but I work for the community of Luna County, which is Deming and Columbus. So yes, I was thinking, sounds like I'm asking, but yes, we need probably put more money in each strategy. Yes, thank you. But Tanya read my mind. Everything she said is true. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I always feel like prevention does not get enough money. And so that's something I'm going to strongly advocate on my end, on the state side, to keep pushing people to put more money into prevention. And so as soon as we can get more funds pointed our way on things that we want to work on. And so I'm going to definitely put that back out to communities. And we're just to chime in a little bit about that, is that we will be working on health disparity impact statements as a cohort here with our block grant providers. And we will be providing all of you an additional $10,000 to work on those going forward. So that's something that, that's a little bit of funding for, creating that health disparity impact statement. within your community. And so I'm hoping that's something we can work on going forward, and we'll provide any sort of technical assistance and training around the creation of that for your community if you're interested in that and taking on that initiative for FY24. So that will be coming out pretty soon as well. Again, I'm constantly kind of trying to remind folks at the state level that prevention needs more money. So anywhere I can find funds, I will definitely try to, like I said, get it back to the communities as well. So thank you so much for that. Joseph, you are up.
Yes, so I wanted to kind of, and sorry if you hear all that background noise, I wanted to kind of echo some of the things that were said, because other rock stars definitely read my mind as well, like Angelica said. But I did want to have an additional request along with that. So in echoing what Tanya said, just kind of from a long-term perspective view, and I don't know if this is helpful because I'm new to OSAP, but I'm old to prevention. And a lot, like for instance, with DFC, for instance, they tend to like it if you keep capacity as a running strategy, right? And I've gone through 2 cycles with DFC. So I'm just adding weight to that suggestion that we're able to continue to capacity build. I really think a strong coalition is probably the most valuable prevention effort one can have in their community. So that continual capacity building, I know it's harder to tell the story. It's not as sexy when you're reporting the data, but it's definitely like a thing. And I know you get that, Tone, because you've done the work, right? And I can tell you've done the work, even just by the questions you're asking. So I do appreciate that. Also, having that strong coalition, like my man Tyson said, usually we're the only ones working on duplication of effort around prevention. The other people that are funded to do what they're doing, because a lot of times they aren't coalition based, they're just focused on their deliverables. But as a coalition, it kind of forces us to cooperate in a way where identifying duplication of efforts is advantageous to the operation of the coalition. So again, I'm just kind of saying, like, this is really important, and a lot of effort needs to go to it, because it does take a lot of time and effort to build coalitions. And like I said, we're the only ones that probably have an advantage or have an incentive to work on duplication of efforts in that nature. So that might be another angle to approach it. And even it could be even thought of as a deliverable of identifying all of the other efforts that are going on in your community. And that's not always an explicit ask, but it's always a necessary thing that a lot of good coalitions just do anyways, right? And then also, I wanted to bring up the travel thing, just understanding and communicating that for rural communities, they might have to spend a whole lot more money on travel. So if you get a budget request or a budget change, and all of a sudden the travel is like $3,000 for the year, I need OSAP to understand where we're coming from on that, because even in the same county, a community could be 60 miles away easily. And there and back, I think federal mileage is 62.5 right now. I mean, that's some cash, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, that adds up. And so we find ourselves not being as effective because we're tightening our belts and trying to figure out how often we can't be in a place because we're so confined, and we don't want to appear out, you wonder why we need to spend so much more money on travel. So just so you understand that from that perspective.
Thank you, Joseph. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear the truth. I want to hear why you need more money. And you just said why. And so what I want is and I'll put this in my email when I send it out for travel, is you just submit to me your budget for your travel, and I will approve it. It can go over 2,000. You just submit to me your travel, and as long as you have the money in your budget, I will approve it. Just make sure it's all accounted for. That's all I want.
Thank
So
you.
yes, that's what I want to hear. Miss Josephine.
Oh, so I attended a meeting with Housing Authority last week on Friday. And I had a lady by the name of Catherine. She is from the Olive Tree. Well, they also have a coalition. So this coalition that she has is a lot of people are on her coalition. I mean, from all walks of life. And she was really upset that we had our coalition. She says that we're duplicating too much. It's, you know, she's had other conversations with people that are on her coalition, stating that with all these meetings, because, right, everybody's busy, everybody's shorthanded, everybody, that why can't we combine with her coalition and just get in and have one, since she has a large number of people from all walks of life, our community, which is true. There is a whole, I mean, I've attended their coalition too, and there's a lot of people on their coalition with the community. And so that is one of the things that our community here is sounding out about, that they're very upset that there's too much duplication going on. And so they're not wanting to join, right? I have mine, they have theirs, and then there's another one. I forgot what, I'm on that one as well. But anyway, that was the biggest message that was being sounded out at that meeting, is too much duplication. And so it makes our community members just drop out and they stay at the biggest one. So I just want to let you know what I heard last week. And it, to me, coming in brand new eyes to all this, I'm feeling the same way. I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Why can't we join together? And here I'm out there and I'm rooting for us, and I'm rooting for the community to all get involved, you know, and I'm telling them, you know, we need to be one. So in saying that, we should be one coalition. We should join up with them, and hopefully that we'll be able to do that. That's
Thank
all.
you. Thank you, Josephine. And and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's something that I'm pretty sure some of you on the call, some of you on the Zoom have faced that challenge of, you know, there's leading competitions with different groups, different coalitions. Does anybody in the group have any supportive guidance for Josephine, or, you know, how have you seen that work? And you're welcome to put it in the chat as well. But that tends to happen. And I think that there's a couple of different options you can do in that given situation. And so I've seen it work where, okay, Joseph, go for it.
Well, I was just going to say, and Josephine, we can talk about this later. So the issue is, at the end of the day, the main issue is that different people are signing the checks, right? And because people's checks are tied to specific deliverables, a lot of times that's the reason why they have to group that way. However, one model that I've seen work and be successful is in Hidalgo County. For instance, they have a separate prevention misuse coalition, substance misuse prevention coalition. I think I said that backwards. Anyways, however, it's a standing committee of the Health Council. Now, everybody has their own funding sources, and they have their own deliverables and their own responsibilities. However, they do find a way to officially recognize each other within their structures. And I find that health councils are a good big umbrella for everybody because they deal with multiple issues within a community. And so my suggestion always is that whatever entity you have representing the primary force on substance misuse prevention be a standing committee of a health council or whatever council has the most attendance. But like I said, Josephine, we'll talk about that more later, but that's what I would offer to everybody. I've seen that work. There are problems with that too, but there's problems with all of it, right? So I recommend that.
And Tone, I just wanted to jump in on that coalition conversation because I think we've been part of so many different coalitions over the years.
Yeah.
You know, in certain areas, it does work to combine them. It makes sense. It's a small community, same people that you see in every single meeting. A lot of the time, subcommittees also work very well when you have multiple, like in one of the communities, actually one of the reasons I'm going back is because we have about 3 or 4 alcohol related meetings that take place, and we're trying to combine that and then have subcommittees because that's worked in the past for us. It's the same people that are attending, and so we can make that work. You have to make sure that OSAP has a standing, you know, item on the agenda every single meeting, right? So that certain communities or certain partners that are coming into the coalition aren't getting lost from one meeting to another. I think that's one of the biggest things is making sure that, you know, your program has a place. And then sometimes it just does not work. If it's too long of a meeting, if, you know, you're not going to have time to speak about your coalition items and you're voting information sharing data with your coalition, having them help out in some of your programming, then it might not be a good fit to kind of combine them. So I think it's really specific and you might have a really good conversation with them. I work with Olive Tree on like 2 other programs. And so I know the size of their coalition and the impact of their coalitions, but their topics are also a little bit different. And they deal a lot with treatment as well. So as long as you can fit in with what they do. So if you need to, you know, talk a little bit more or have a conversation with them directly about how you all would fit in, you know, I think that's probably the best way to do it. Cause I know they do have a lot of like the MCOs that come in, but they have other presentations that might be beneficial to both. So it's really about finding out like, well, let me see some of your agenda items in the past and how do we fit in to those agendas and those topics that you cover. And are we going to have time so that we can have our agenda items also addressed during your time? Those are just some overall tips from past coalition meetings.
Yep. Thank you, Cindy, because that was along the same lines of one thing that always connects in my mind is what is true collaboration? You know, people love to say that word and throw it around and think that everybody knows what it means, but it means things to different people. But the way I look at true collaboration is you're bringing your goal, your needs, and then their needs and their goal, and you're going to work on a common goal together, and you're all on the same page. So I definitely appreciate what you're saying, Cindy. Miss Joanna.
It's off this topic. Are you ready for that?
We're ready. We're ready.
Okay. So Liz brought something up in the chat and I'm like, oh yeah, we should talk about that. Not to call her out after this. But you're talking about what strategies are time consuming or what should be a strategy. Let me tell you. It takes so much time to survey. It should be a strategy in itself. Like the New Mexico Community Survey should be its own strategy. The Strategies for Success Survey should be a strategy. It takes so much planning, so much time that you're adding those 2 more strategies onto your direct service and your 4 other strategies. So really, yeah, it's a lot of work. So I always dread it because our surveys also are in the same time. So we do the SFS in March, but then during that time we're doing the NMCS. And I use my whole coalition staff, so they don't get paid for it. They're not getting paid for it. We're all just working as a team. So if you really put down in numbers, like how much money this is truly costing our coalition in time, it's a lot for 400 surveys. It's a lot of money.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Make it a strategy. Make it an option.
My
I
response to that,
I-
Joanna, though, is that I'm looking towards less reporting and less tracking. So, and that's what I keep thinking about is that, are there different ways to bill for this activity? And of course, we're all talking about more resources would be very important to do. But I'm just worried. I've always been worried about the reporting burden. And so every time we talk about new strategies and more strategies, I'm thinking about having to report on that too. So
we used to include it as an activity in most of our strategies, like the school one of them would be survey, or, now the benchmarks it's a little bit harder to do it that way.
it should be in most of those benchmark indicators is the data collection piece.
And honestly, it is like we can fit anything with any strategy. Like we can be creative enough as a preventionist to attach anything to anything. I mean, that's just how we're geared and formed and how we network. But it's about the actual time for that specific activity, considering the reward of the activity, I guess. And it just seems like all the money that is being spent to do these surveys in this way could be maybe more effective if somebody developed a different way to obtain the surveys. With all that money that's put into it this way. I don't know. It's 400 surveys and it costs you tons of time. Just saying.
Yeah, thank you, Joanna. And I think, having been there before, that was, that was always kind of a struggle. I remember when the first time they were like, oh, you have to have a budget for your community survey. And I'm like, where? Where am I'm supposed to find that money? I remember being that first question coming, I'm like, okay, how do I do this? How do I make it work? But obviously, we made it work, or we had to find a way, right? We had to get volunteers. We had to sit there and, collect those surveys and, do data collection, data entering ourselves, or, work with our evaluator. How do you enter the data? You got to train us. You got to show us how to do it, because we don't know how to do it. We're prevention specialists. We don't know how to, do data entering. So, excuse me. So it was, I'm gonna definitely take that one to heart. I'm gonna write that one down. I'm hearing all of you, and I really appreciate all of your feedback. This is so, this has been more successful than I even imagined. And we actually had another question we wanted to ask you all, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold off on that question. I'm gonna take everything that you've said today and see how we can continue to make our programs feel like you're being heard and feel like you're, we can have you provide strategies, strategic plans, scopes of work that will work for your community, that will show the results that you want to work on, that will provide us feedback in what we need to know and what we need to collect at the state level, but making a difference in your communities. And so I'm definitely gonna, like I said, I'm gonna keep looking for money any way I can. And like I said, there's an option for $10,000. I know that's not much, but that's something I know for sure that is set into place right now for you all. And then I'm gonna keep searching. I'm gonna keep asking for more money and see what we can pull from, but we're already at time. It's not enough time. It's definitely not enough time, because I didn't get to hear from Anna from San Juan County Partnership. I mean, I know you have a lot to say, but I didn't get to hear from you.
I heard, I am just going to reiterate everything that I heard. I would agree with wholeheartedly, and I still feel like a newbie, and I think people were really sharing well. So I didn't feel like I needed to overshare. But I'm so grateful and so appreciative of the community and the discussion that I heard today. Really helpful, and I really concur with almost everything everybody shared. So thank you so much.
Sure, thank you. Again, thank you all. Thank you, thank you. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And again, this is just a start to us having a conversation, and we're going to have more of these opportunities because I want to listen. I want to hear your feedback. We want to make changes where we can, and then, you know, like I said, make things work better for you all, and let's keep moving forward. Yay. Awesome. All right.